Hey College Success, welcome to your week 4 assignment video, which means we are about 25% of the way done with our semester after this week. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of encouragement as we are plugging along here. So as a reminder, if you scroll down on this area, the lessons tab here, we have our workshop video. This is just a very quick, 3-minute video that just focuses on the workshop. So remember, you have to have this workshop by week 16, and it is in My Stark State. If you're on the left-hand side, you scroll down to Development and Training, click on Student Success Workshops, and we are in February. There are a ton of offerings in February, and then there's a good handful in March as well. You can see they go through April and just the smallest little bit of offerings in May. So I'd like to make sure that you know about it now and that you're thinking ahead, because I want you to choose a workshop that is going to be helpful or interesting to you. Also, when you go to upload your assignment, I do not need your registration information because you have to register for a workshop. I need the actual certificate that you completed or that you attended, or that you verified in some way that you went to the workshop you registered for. So keep that in mind, please, that I do not need your registration. I need your actual confirmation that you attended a workshop. All right, so let's go ahead and scroll down. We're in week 4. Please make sure, if you have not already, you take a look at the week 4 video folder. Your chapter 3 lecture video is in there to make sure that you're comfortable with the content for lectures that is going over chapter 3, So in this week, you have a little less than normal, which is nice. You still have your discussion forum. So you need to post your original response by Wednesday. For weekly attendance, responded to classmates by Sunday. Remember, even if you miss the attendance deadline of Wednesday, you can still post late and get partial attendance credit, but you can also get full points on the forum itself. So remember, you're kind of getting graded in that double way for attendance and then for the forum. So respond by Wednesday and then interact with 2 classmates by Sunday. You do have one assignment for the week. It's called What is Your Perfect Week? And then you have your normal quiz over the chapter. So if I click in the assignment folder, here is my prompt for chapter 3. And I think at this point we're pretty comfortable with posting. So I'm just going to go over the prompt. It says, can you identify any areas in your life that might be a potential problem if they were a temporary setback, such as maybe your car breaks down, or someone who has been your ride for the last several weeks can no longer take you to school? Is there a housing issue? Maybe are you ill, or is there a sickness going through your house? Anything that you could kind of think of that might be a temporary setback. It's not a permanent setback. Maybe you have to pick up more hours at work. So sometimes it's a work, family, transportation kind of issue. So what could you do for a backup plan if something did happen? So you're just kind of thinking through, because chapter 3 is talking about, our mindset and how we deal with, it kind of goes back to a little bit of chapter 2 as well, like resilience and what goes on when we are kind of finding that there's obstacles in our goal setting. So just thinking through if there's an issue, because it's a nice goal to have this backup. If you have a sitter and they were sick or the daycare closes, do you have a backup plan for that? So just think about the might be an issue for you. You can come up with a couple if need be, because the more backup plans you have, the better. So you'll make sure that you post around 150 words or more. I did notice with the previous week that I have people who are hovering around 100, 115 words. So you are seeing points taken off for that, because that is significantly below the 150 words or more requirement. So just keep in mind that when you're posting, it should be your original response. It's coming from your knowledge, your background, and you want to aim for around 150 words. All right, chapter 3, because chapter 3 talks about your time management. There's an assignment that kind of discusses and deals with time management. This is called What is Your Perfect Week? It's going to open up into this PDF that you can type in. And so I want you to think about what your perfect week would look like. And when I say perfect week, I do not mean like dream week. So I don't mean like a vacation to an island or just sleeping away the day. We all need those things. This is like a realistic perfect week. How many hours would you work? How much time would you spend resting? How much time would you spend on schoolwork? How much time would you spend with your family or friends? So if you could strike the perfect balance, what would that look like? And so you have slots here from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. So obviously in some of these, you might be sleeping. If you don't want to type the word sleep like over and over, like say, you can just kind of do the emphasize, you're repeating that. Same thing like if you work in a block, work, 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 you can just kind of do the quotation marks to show that you're doubling it. And this doesn't cover all 24 hours, but you're going to try to look to see, how would you spend your time? How would you ideally manage your time? Because we know in most cases our weeks do not always go as planned. Things pop up, something takes longer than we thought it would. Our attention has to be drawn somewhere else. So if you had to kind of design your perfect week, what would that look like? So you want to fill that in. There's a second part, so I'm going to go over that in a minute. Fill that in. Make sure you save it with your changes, and you're going to put this in the Dropbox. So browse and put it in the Dropbox. But the second part down here are these 4 questions. And this, how it's designed right now, unless you have a PDF that you can edit on your own, these are 4 questions that you can just click and answer in the right submission area if you want to do it that way. So it's basically just kind of asking, did you include study time, sleep time, socializing, and self-care? So kind of just thinking through those different areas. Did you include them? How much time? So just a real quick, a reflection on, did you make sure to include these? How much time did you dedicate to those things? So that is due in the Dropbox by Sunday. Make sure you fill out the entire calendar as well as answer those 4 questions. And then the last thing is your Chapter 3 quiz. So as usual, it opens up to a Word document. And so this is going to reflect back on high school. For some of you, high school was yesterday. Others might be a little bit longer. So think about, in our textbook, it says most high school assignments are worksheets. Do you agree with this? So far in college, is this a similar experience or not? Do you think your college assignments are harder or just different? Have you had to change the way you've prepared for things? The way that you approach high school currently, or you approached high school in the past, is it the same as you approach college, or are you finding that you need to try new things? Question 2 is talking about time tracking. They mention it in our textbook in section 3.4. Have you ever tracked your time before? If you haven't, you can still answer these questions like, do you tend to over or underestimate how much time it takes for a certain activity? If you had to give a student time management tips, what are your top 5? Question 3 refers back to the Eisenhower matrix. So again, that is in my lecture video, it's in the PowerPoint, it's in the textbook. So when you think about that kind of urgent and important, so it asks you, when you think about meeting to talk about with your instructor about an issue, but like an academic issue, how do you first respond to that? Are you comfortable with them? How would you start that conversation? So you're thinking about assignments that are both urgent and important to consult with. So that's kind of the premise, like why you have to talk to your instructor, because you have assignments that are really important and they're really time, pertinent. Question 4, have you ever thought about just kind of how much, in a way, like time you waste during the day, like waiting to pick someone up or waiting in between classes? How can you use that time in a more effective way? And then question 5 is talking about time management specifically as it's related to your career. Like, how will time management be important, and how can you kind of use the strategies we talked about in this chapter to enhance your time management? All right, so you'll submit that in your Chapter 3 quiz Dropbox. So as a recap, you are posting your original response for Chapter 3 by Wednesday, respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. Chapter 3 assignment and Chapter 3 quiz, both due by Sunday as well. Pay attention to that workshop schedule, get yourself signed up, and if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great week.